Well, hello! Welcome to Drawing with Fire. I'm your neighborhood pyrography artist, Valerie, joined with my hubby, Jason.
Hubcap.
And today we are going to be taking a look at the Dremel 2000 VersaTip hand torch. Okay, I got that all out. I do have a photo to see up close.
How do you mute this?
Of course, there's always something. Hopefully everything sounds good.
Yeah.
And this is what we're looking at. And let's get this back off so you can see what we're doing. All right. And so I purchased this on Amazon. It was $38 for the whole set. And I did do a little test burning last night. And if you can see, compared to what we got with the other torch, this actually comes out a lot smoother. And this board is birch. This is basswood. And this is not sanded. So I was actually quite happy with the evenness of the burn. Whereas right here we got really splotchy. And so we're going to get started. I think what I'm going to look at doing is trying to smooth out the dark and go from there. I'm only using the torch part. I tried the other tips and they don't work for what I'm wanting. So if everything looks good, then we're going to get started. Let's see if we need to zoom in a little bit. I am going to have to cut a light so that you can see it. Oops, going the wrong way. Always fun trying to click on everything. There we go. So hopefully that's good enough. It takes me a couple times trying to get this started. And it does have a continuous lock, so I don't have to hold any buttons as we're going. So let's get started on it. Hi, Paul. Hi, Grace. Oops, I had it. Hi, Eve and Andrew. Let's see. There we go. I've got it locked. I'm going to turn it down. It does have 3 settings. And this is on 1. Let's see which light I need to cut. That one doesn't. Well. Okay. Let's try this, and I'm going to pick up where we left off with the walnut hollow and try to start smoothing it out. It is better if you can go up and down instead of at an angle, but we will try both. Make sure I stay on screen. It's definitely giving me a much more even burn. And you're supposed to be able on low to get an hour with this torch.
An hour?
Yep, an hour.
That's a lot of time for such a small tool.
It is.
That's pretty good. Because your other pen torches were like what?
2 minutes?
2 minutes. That's not enough time to be artsy, I don't think.
No. The more I played with this, I was a little more comfortable with, the wood catching on fire.
Yeah.
How well can you... Oh, yeah, I guess you can see that pretty good.
Yeah, you can. You can really see it good.
Yeah. It's definitely a lot more even burn. I gotta remember to slow down. I'm so used to using one of my tips and thinking, you gotta get in there. Just don't get in on the artwork. Oh, okay. You want it higher?
Oh, that's fine. Whoa.
There you go.
Don't flame it.
Oh, it's flaming.
Don't you know anything about roasting marshmallows?
No. Okay, don't drip on me.
Artists.
There you go.
Wow, it smells like...
Oh, that smells good.
Yeah, it does.
So he gets a snack while I'm doing the work. Oh, this is definitely much, much better. I'm actually quite happy with this. I did notice on the birch board that it warped. So I wouldn't use it on anything thinner than 1/4 of an inch.
Oh my god, that's good.
Is that good?
It's been a while since I had one.
Oh, after the live, I'll have to. That smells really good.
It totally is.
Totally. So what's everybody think of this? Can they see the flame? I definitely think I'm getting a better burn.
I see it bursting into flames from time to time.
That's the wood.
Is that a concern?
No. It's actually kind of helping me. I think that's when you stay in an area
I see.
for a couple of seconds. We might have to open the studio door to air it out. Might get a little smoky in here.
It says it's very dark though. I like the contrast.
I am liking this. I've always wanted to do a dark background, but I'm not happy with not getting a smooth burn for that.
Well, there you go.
I'm actually really excited about this. And this is on the small flame.
That's on the small one.
This is the small flame. I do have to still be careful. I think more up and down when I get closer to the flower.
Yeah.
And I might have to do a little bit of etching. I did buy. Do I need to move the board up?
No, you're good right now. You're still working within that. Are you worried about getting into your design there?
Yeah, I am a little bit. I'm gonna have to etch out.
Okay.
I don't because I. How did that die already? That's really odd. Okay, it takes about. You have to wait till this cools off.
Well, why don't you continue on and I'll fill it.
Yeah, but you have to wait till it cools. I'm
Right.
going to check just to make sure. See, it's supposed to be loud. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe it just went out.
Seems like it.
There we go. Got it back.
Okay.
Maybe it heats up and you're going to have to go back closer. And bigger flame. There you go. You're making me hungry.
It's not my fault. No.
Well, oh, that I can hear the flame on the marshmallow. Okay, we are off camera now.
Yeah.
All right. Now I'm jealous. You're getting marshmallows and I'm working.
I'm sorry. I'm just your support staff. It's my job to quietly eat marshmallows behind the scenes.
I get some when we're done. I'm going to try to go lighter, closer to the stem, because maybe we'll see if that works out. And I'm going to hop over here. I'm trying to go up and down and pulling back and getting closer to control what heat.
Chat says I should have given that one to you.
Oh, no, I can't eat and work. I'll get some as long as we don't let him eat the bag. Because he's enjoying himself.
Marshmallows.
Okay, I got some line work there. There you go. This is definitely a lot more even burn. I'm actually quite impressed. We looked at propane torches. We might still get one of those.
Like I said, that's what my father uses for finishing, and you're getting actually about the same size of flame.
I went over a pedal.
It might be a little bit bigger.
Darn it. I went over a pedal. Wasn't paying attention.
It's okay, the pedal fell off.
Well, I think I can etch it out. I didn't go over the whole thing. We'll try a little scratching before live is over to see what that looks like.
So, I still think, like, I'll get a hold of some steel, and I'll get you some masks, because I think that like a movable mask where you could work around it, I think that would be helpful.
Oh, now my hand's in the way. Alright, let me take this off, and I'll flip it.
Well, that's as dark a background as I've ever seen you do.
This is the darkest I've ever done. I really am liking it with how even in general it is.
Well, when you have areas that are high contrast and backgrounds that are generally smooth, because you can do that kind of like out of focus thing with the flame, like, you know, making the background look nondescript.
Oh, I lost it again.
But I think that you'll be able to do a lot more quicker.
I wonder if I'm losing the flame because of the angle I'm holding it.
I think that that's probably true. I think that if you... Yeah.
Well, if I do it at an angle like this, though, it does get into my line art. That's why I was going up and down. But it is going to take a bit of adjustment. I think the more I work with this, the better results, of course, I'm going to get.
Trish K says hi.
Hi, Trish. I do see this as a good investment for burning.
I do too. I think that this is...
I know it's $38, plus you need to buy the fuel. I do have a different brand of fuel coming, butane, that's supposed to be really clean and filtered. And so that helps keep the torch from getting clogged and not working. So... we'll be using that in the future. In the way, okay. This right here definitely feels like airbrushing.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's comparable.
Well, let's try to pull out a little bit, move a little quicker, and see if we can get some of the blurry background.
Yeah, I think that that's exactly right. And then you won't have so much trouble with it bursting in the flames either.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a little bit more gradual.
Well, I can't go too far away because of the flame size.
How's the heat for your hand?
Oh, no problem.
Okay.
I'd say, yeah, I'm not feeling any. I mean, I get a little, like, heat breeze, but it's no different than going out on a summer day and having... It's actually cooler than that. Let's see.
Trish K says, I have a Dremel, but I never thought of using it like this. Well, I think this is a different kind of Dremel.
Yeah, it's a Dremel brand, but this is the VersaTip hand torch. I can pop that back up on the screen in a second. Oop.
Well, don't...
Is it on the screen? It will be. Gotta hit transition. So that's...
Don't drive and text, dear.
So that's what I'm using. I'll put it back up when I'm not trying to burn and catch things on fire.
Andrew asks, is this the Eclipse version?
The Eclipse version.
I think he's referencing the Eclipse from yesterday, or Monday.
Yeah. So I can get a little lighter the further away I get and move a little quicker, but I am still getting hot spots.
Yeah.
Maybe if I bump this up.
Well, that's gonna...
Yeah, I'm gonna pull back though.
Okay. I was gonna say it's gonna decrease your amount of fuel.
Yeah, it will. Supposedly on high, it lasts about 47 minutes.
You can really see the difference in the grain there.
I do like the lower flame. Oop, lost the flame. And all I have to do is pop the lock off up, and it turns it off. the feel from dispensing.
Well, I do like that it auto lights. That's nice.
I do too.
Keeps you from having to have another thing to worry about. Now, are you? Won't there be a problem with like carbon on this?
Yes, there will be, and I'm gonna have to, because I'm thinking about adding color to this as well for the sunflower, at least the main one. And for this, I did want to talk about it, so thank you. If you're doing something like this, in fact, let me grab the. There we go.
And what's interesting to me is that because it's darker, you can see the imperfections in the face of the wood. Like there's a ring that you're going over right now. I don't know if you can't really see it.
No, I can see it. It's right there. I also think that's where I had a bit of fire going.
Yeah.
So, in sealing this, I'm going to have to try to wipe off as much carbon as I can because it's there. You can see, it looks like a charcoal pencil drawing. I'm going to have to try to clean off as much carbon as I can, and then when I go to seal it, I'm going to have to spray seal it a couple of layers.
Okay.
To keep any carbon, loose carbon that didn't come off for whatever reason in. Yeah. And then I can brush on a couple of layers of clear coat on top of that, and it'll stay clean. And the carbon won't go anywhere.
Okay. I wonder if you could use that excess carbon as like use it to blend.
Huh. I guess we're going to, as in grabbing a blender and
like a blender,
bringing it into.
But you know how when you use a blending stump on a graphite piece, and the blending stump gets graphite or charcoal on it, depending on what you're using, and then you take that, and if you want some subtle blending somewhere, you can use that stump to go back over. And I was just thinking it might be useful to like go over places where you need subtle blending, and then you'd be using the same material that the piece is made from, so it would be a little more pure, I guess.
Yeah. Huh. Well, I will definitely take a look at that and give it a try.
I'm just happy that you're doing this. I think this is going to increase your workflow like a ton.
Oh, look how quick the background's starting to...
Yeah, because like when you did the deer, and granted that has a lot of texture in it, because you're doing all the grass, but that background is pretty dark, where in between the grass. But here you'd be able to do a dark background in a fraction of the time that you would.
Yeah, I do think that there's a little bit of a learning curve, so a little bit of practice and figuring out. Oops, I forgot that was a leaf there. Oh well, we just reshaped it. And figuring out how you want it to look and how dark. I think once I've figured that out, it'll work great for me. Why aren't we burning? Oh, there we go.
I'm trying not to catch it on fire.
Oh, well, it's on fire.
Too late.
Hey!
Now that's a part of it, too.
Nah, I knocked it off before.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh.
I got it.
Yeah. Eve says it's like having a big paintbrush.
It is.
She says that burns. Yes.
It's actually quite comfortable to use. It's not hurting my hand. I'm not gripping it very hard. I do need to figure out where I want a little bit more dark. Maybe a little more even. And this, in theory, makes it where you could plein air wood burn. Because technically now, it's cordless.
Mm.
And there are tips that you can get for wood burning. And what I'm doing here is I'm kind of shaping my shadows from last time just into kind of, I'm hoping, blurry flowers.
Yeah. Paul says this torch seems so much quicker and more accurate.
It is. It really is. I'm really happy with it. Let's see here. I know we've got a flower over here, so I'll just...
I gotta tell you, I know you're like focused and so you're close to it, like artists get, so you don't see it like I see it. But like already, like the flower, there's so much contrast that it's makes it look a lot more dynamic to me.
Well, for this one, I'm gonna add color pencil. And in fact, if you want to see me add color pencil to it, let me know if you want to see it in live or just a follow-up speed video. So we can figure out how far to go with this. I do think this will help me finish the piece quicker. Let's see. I'm not even sure what flower. I'm just putting in a shape.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Well, the suggestion of the shape is more powerful a lot of times than something specific.
Let's see here. I'm gonna back this up without catching anything on fire. I'm gonna try in this area to. Alright, so.
Eve said live would be awesome. What are we talking about, Eve?
Adding color to this.
Oh, okay.
I haven't done a color. I've done a video on what to look for or watch out for when you're using color pencils, but I haven't done. Let's see here. You know what? I think this leaf needs to be a bit. I don't want it to be.
You're gonna subdue it?
Yeah. I don't want it to be.
Michael Ann asks, just curious, is the smoke harmful enough that you should wear a mask?
Probably.
Yeah, I think that depends on your sensitivity. So, I mean...
Yes, technically I should be wearing a mask.
I mean, if you asked OSHA would say yes, absolutely. Eye protection, hand protection.
Let's see here. I'm trying to figure out where I want to
respirator, ventilation, fire extinguishers on hand.
I got water bottles. You've got water bottles.
Pretty sure we're not in compliance with OSHA right now.
Okay. So, let me see. I'm going to let this cool down just in case. I don't know. Just for a minute. Just because we've been using it a lot. I'm trying to see if I can get in the flower so you can see. I can't zoom out anymore. Oh, yes, I can. There we go.
Oh, wow.
There.
That's nice.
It's not completely as smooth as I would like it for me, but it's a step in the right direction.
Well, I think you're having to deal with the grain as well. Because there's going to be imperfections in the grain that come naturally, and that's going to affect the smooth. You're never going to get a perfectly smooth burn unless you have a perfectly smooth piece of wood that has no grain. Yeah,
you can definitely see that these boards are glued together. That they're 4 pieces of basswood that are approximately 3 inches wide, glued together to create the oval. And that really, look at that, you can really see.
Yeah.
I don't know how well they can see it.
Oh, they can see it pretty good. I can see it really well. So, I'm seeing what they're seeing.
So, I am fighting that.
Yeah.
Though, in the scheme of things, if I was going to burn a background, I think this is the best wood to practice on.
True.
So,
as far as like smoke, Paul just made a comment that you get more sitting around a campfire. And that's pretty much what it smells like. It smells like a campfire right now. I mean, it's not any more toxic than that. I think that if you were, because it's wood and because the fuel is clean, you know, there's still some concerns there, especially if you have a sensitive respiratory.
If you have asthma, I would definitely. wear a mask.
Yeah.
And have maybe a fan that pulls the smoke away. It's not blowing in my face. It's actually going out towards you guys in the camera.
Correct, Grace.
That's
the marshmallows. Campfire and marshmallows.
Yeah. Let's see here. I'm trying to get a little bit more controlled. The good thing about this is I know that there's shading underneath the sunflower, so I can kind of use that.
Now, Andrew has an interesting question. How are you going to sign this?
I will probably etch out my name.
Sgraffito.
Sgraffito.
Which I think that's Italian for scratching your stuff into other stuff.
There we go. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do a bit of what's it called? It's etching, but I can't think of the term when you have a black background that there's etching tools that.
It's etching.
Yeah, there's another name for it, I think.
Well, I'm not quite sure. Maybe chat knows, but I
it's
think
an art form where you have a black background that's kind of.
Yeah, I think I want to say that's etching, or because that was the pickup line in the 19th century. You want to come over and see my etchings?
Right now I'm thinking about...
Well, those are scratch boards.
Scratch board, yes, thank you. That is what I was looking for.
But it's etchings.
Yeah, but I was just looking for the more common that people identify as. But I am going to have to treat this like a scratch board.
And I think that's good, though, is that because the tool, no matter how light or pressure that you use, is going to some extent, it's going to indent into the wood, into the surface. So, but with the torch, you're going to be able to etch more easily because there's that thin layer of carbon, and it's not quite ingrained.
Make sure I don't go camera.
Grace says her lungs would be screaming right now. I don't know. It's actually quite pleasant. So my dad used to smoke a pipe, and like I never had the urge to smoke a pipe, but sometimes I really want to get that pipe tobacco and just burn it because some of it smells amazing. It's better than incense.
That is true. Well, I'm getting a little even as I'm trying to slow down, but be a little bit more controlled in my choices as I go over my line.
Remember the angle.
I'm trying to use the different angles.
Well, I know, but I was worried about your flame going out.
Oh.
Sometimes I can hear the tone of the flame changing like this.
There. I'm going to look at my picture, actually. I'm going to click this off for safety. I'm looking at my picture because, okay, so that goes in here, and here, and actually it goes in here too. Alright. Sometimes it's hard to tell where. I had a little bit of graphite there, so I couldn't tell if it was a line or...
Grace has asthma, I guess. I did not know that. So yeah, Grace would need some ventilation.
And you can have a fan over here to the side that's actually drawing the smoke away.
Yeah.
And if you did it by a window, you could just, like I did in the gourd video, I just blow it right out the window because that I did use because that stick and burn is a form of plastic.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to me. I don't particularly care for it.
Well, anytime you're burning anything that's artificial, you're going to have byproducts that are going to be toxic, and you can't get away from it.
I don't suggest the stick and burns. If you find a pattern you like, then scan it and print it out and transfer it the way we did. our first video. It's a lot safer that way. And when I burn, just with my regular pens,
yeah,
I get very little smoke at all. Unless I burn high, like if I was doing a background. Let's see here. How can we...
Well, Andrew says that the black looks stunning and the colors will pop big time. I like it a lot.
I'm curious to see what it's going to... Thank you, Andrew. I'm curious to see what it's going to look like once it's sealed. And see this... Oh, I did want to take a moment. I have seen people on YouTube making videos, and this time I am going to call them out. When you sand...
Dun dun dun.
Well, it bugs me. Oh, I got some carbon there. When you sand, you always sand with the grain of the wood. Because, and this is a good example, if I had gotten crazy with sanding just because it's easier on my hand or whatnot, in hitting this with a torch, all of the sanding marks going against the grain would show up.
Yeah.
The same as when you seal it. So you really have to go with the grain of the wood. Now what I gotta do is see what I can do with this area. Right there. See if I can blend it in more.
That makes sense, because if you have parts of the grain that are higher than the others, if you sand cross grain, what it's going to do is on a microscopic level, it's going to curl those over, and it's going to be uneven, and it's going to create like little small spaces that are going to be, you won't see it until you do something like a torch or wood burn.
Or sealing.
Or sealing, yeah.
It really pops out when you seal.
Yeah, so.
Okay, it's still too dark.
So with the grain.
With the grain. Always, always with the grain.
Okay.
I know sometimes it can be hard, but it would really suck to put all this time and energy into a piece, and it looks awesome, and you go to seal it or add more contrast to it with a torch, and then all of a sudden the grain that you didn't see prior just is all messed up.
Science.
You have all these circles where you shouldn't, and I couldn't imagine. That would be so frustrating. Alright, let's try to darken this without torching it.
But you are torching it.
Really, really torching it. So is our audio much better? I think I figured everything out.
I feel like that's something we should have asked like 30 minutes ago.
I did ask.
Did you?
I just didn't see chat.
I was too busy eating noodles.
Or marshmallows.
Yeah.
I'm jealous.
Paul says cross graining wrecks the wood. It makes it furry and rough.
There you go.
Yes, that's true.
And it can definitely ruin a piece of artwork. So when I saw another video of a wood burner who the art looked, wonderful. But when I saw how they were sanding, it was like nails on a chalkboard for me.
Yeah.
No! Don't do that.
Chat says audio and video are great.
Oh, finally. I think I worked it all out. Let's see here. I'm trying to blur the lines. I'm still working in my head how I'm going to put this blurry sunflower in. So I'm just going to keep going. You see, but this side's darker. I'm carefully moving the board. My arm's way far away from it.
So Paul says, audio. What audio? I thought it was a silent movie. Just waiting for Buster Keaton to come on. And Andrew says, you asked about the audio. Oh, I didn't hear.
Ha ha ha. Let's see here. See, I've got it really dark right here, and I don't feel... feel like I need a little bit more blending somehow. You know what? I do want to... Oops. I want to try something you mentioned.
Okay.
Let's see how I can do it.
What do you need? Do you have any blending stuff?
Yes, that's bottom. There should be bottom 2 drawers and the next 2 up. Oops. It won't pull out all the way. Let's see here. We're going to try to move some of the carbon around and see how we can use it for the... Oh, thank you.
Just one?
Yeah, that should be fine. We're just trying it out to see what happens.
Okay.
We're learning together. Definitely pulls it off. What I'm looking for... I mean, I could burn this, keep working and burn it straight black, but that's... I want some nuance to it. I do have some pencil marks in here. Let's see what happens when we do this.
Well, somebody does have. It's Shirley Millar. She says...
Hi, Shirley.
She can hardly hear you speaking.
Oh.
I have my sound all the way up, and no, I don't have hearing issues. It might be...
Are you on mobile? Because sometimes mobile, I have the same issue when I'm on my tablet. Let's see here.
Yeah, the rest of the chat doesn't seem to have any issues, so if it's mobile, maybe.
Maybe.
So how's that working?
I think if I go with the grain, it fills it in better, of course. And see the right... I can't tell if that was a heat or if that was a blemish in the wood. Make sure. I think it's easier, actually, at least for this area, to use the paper towel.
I see.
Maybe for smaller areas. No one needs to turn this into a stem. I lost the leaf. Let's see here. So this does keep it from being mixed media.
That's true. Sean Arnold says, hi Valerie, I actually
Hi
made it.
Sean! Yeah, he is in California. I've been talking to him on Facebook. Let's see here. Ugh, see, big mess. Big mess. Okay.
But this is going to be a mixed media anyway, though, right?
Yeah, I do want to add some yellow and white and green to this. I think with the dark background that will really pop.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm thinking.
Okay. So what you gonna do now?
I'm just, because I messed up this leaf, I'm gonna try to either turn it into something else or just completely cover it.
I think just a suggestion of something else. That's nice.
I do still have a big difference in contrast right there.
Yeah.
And I think it needs to go up, maybe. Carefully. Carefully. Because I have all this dark right here. And unless I can't get rid of all the texture next to the flower.
No.
No, because I burned it with well, actually, it is kind of...
Is it?
Yeah, it is. Oh, sorry. Just don't drip it.
Stop advancing it on me.
There, you're on fire. There we go.
Michael Ann asks, Val, did you finish the kitty?
It is almost done. I only need to, I had to go buy white opaque ink so I could put in the whiskers and some white fur And then it's done. That's all I got left.
Sean says, what a great tool this can be.
It is. It's really helpful. And there's a bunch of attachments, and I probably should go over the attachments because there's more to it than just what I'm doing, just the hand torch itself.
Before we close out the stream today, would you be willing to show the current progress of Itty?
Sure.
Just to see what chat thinks?
Sure.
Okay. Because you know, Michael Ann was asking about it, and I'd be curious to see what chat thinks.
Let's see. I do think this...
Mark, model good.
Do what?
Yes, I am, Paul. That is correct.
What are you?
I'm stuffing my cake hole.
Yes, he is.
I haven't had marshmallows in a while. I'm going to be wired.
Oh, boy.
I'm doing pretty good with sugar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Oop. So we wanted to look at... It actually did smooth out most of the burn.
Yeah.
I might have to burn a line to kind of separate things. But what I wanted to look at was pulling some of the carbon from areas I don't want. So,
okay.
We shall start first.
And Grace says, I was expecting before we close out the day, do you want to play Chubby Bunny? No, I played Chubby Bunny with Peeps with my kids, and that's like the first and last time I'll do that because...
Did you?
Yeah, I did. But the problem is at the end of the day, you've got a whole lot of sugar in your system,
and hyper kids.
Yeah, well.
And I'm gonna zoom in because what we're doing.
Shirley, because she just turned in, she says she missed a lot. Is it going to be available later online?
Yes, it will. Since this is going through OBS, it'll take a little bit longer, about an hour, for this to repost. You know what I'm thinking, though? Because this is dark.
No, I don't know what you're thinking.
Oh, now I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
Because this is dark,
mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if I actually have to scratch.
I think so.
Meaning I can go over it with colored pencil.
Oh.
Well,
that is another experiment entirely.
Yeah, it is. If I could use...
I would try just scratching first and see how that feels.
Well, I am, but I'm also reminded that this is going to damage the wood.
Yeah. And
there's going to be little scratching marks. And not sure that's what I want. This is just a diamond file.
How's that working? You're actually off screen, by the way.
Oh, sorry. Forgot I zoomed in.
Yeah.
It's actually not working bad. See, one thing with doing this with a solid piece of wood is I could take my hand Dremel, the other one, not this one,
the actual Dremel,
the actual Dremel,
right.
And use some of my diamond bit tips to etch out.
So I just thought of this. So we normally think about painting or drawing as an additive process, and you're adding color, but you're actually destroying the surface, whether you're doing wood burning or using a torch or whatever. So it's like sculpting. It's a reductive process.
Huh.
And much like sculpting, you know, there's not many ways. Like once you go too far in sculpting, you can't normally put back a piece of marble. Yeah. You know, so if you take something too far, you're not going to be able to put it back.
That's true.
So it's an observation. That's all.
Let's see here. Where I hit the burn with the eraser.
Shirley's going to watch the videos in order of how we got here.
Oh, cool. Oh, look what I just found. If I take my eraser and go over the carbon,
yeah,
it shines it up.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Takes the top layer. I don't know how well...
You can see it pretty good.
That shows.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see it a little bit.
Okay.
So it adds a different texture, which is interesting because under lighting, certain lighting conditions, that texture could add something to the overall effect.
Well, Shirley, I did create a playlist that all these videos are going into for easy access.
Now, there is some audio issues on a couple of them.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But that's how we got here. So.
Just bear with me. I am trying to fix it all.
And thanks to chat, we're here lighting stuff on fire today.
Yeah, we got here by accident. This was not intentional.
I'm happy that we got here.
Actually, we got here not by accident, but out of my frustration.
That's true.
Let's see here. See, with the file, it almost looks like it's highlighted.
Mm-hmm.
How well is that showing? Okay. I'm still going to go back. Let's see here. I could try to etch out my name and see how that looks. Oops.
Michael Ann says, funny that eraser looks like a marshmallow. Coincidence? I think you're just seeing marshmallows now.
Because
marshmallows on the brain.
Marshmallows on the brain. Alright, I think we'll see it better here because we do have some more burn. I'm not pushing very hard. I'm gripping hard, but I'm not pushing hard.
What about an electric eraser? Do you think that would be...
I have one.
Do you think that would be useful here, or...
It's in the little box by the scissors.
Little box by the scissors. You have a lot of little boxes.
It's called storage.
Where's the scissors? Oh my god. What box? Oh. I was expecting a box with a lid.
Oh. So you want me to do it over...
I'm just curious.
Okay, over the burning?
Sure. See what kind of effect you get, if any.
Actually, it moves the carbon around.
Does it?
Yep.
Is it useful or no?
Could be useful.
I had one of those little remote controller. Well, it wasn't a remote control. It was like an airplane on a string. And it was supposed to be super cool, but it never worked the way it was supposed to. And it sounded just like that.
Let's see. Let me find some place where I would use the graphite for shading.
Maven Feliciano says hello.
Hello.
And Eve says, I love the level of experimentation going on.
This is definitely all new for me. Let's see here. So,
Maven Feliciano, actually, she was in chat earlier. It's a greeting.
how was she?
Does anyone know about its archival? How long would burning pieces last?
Yeah, hundreds and hundreds of years.
Okay, see, and I missed that because Paul said until the wood crumbles, but I didn't see the comment before that, and so I thought Paul was just being cryptic, like until the wood crumbles. Like, okay, Paul.
Pyrography is actually one of the first ancient arts, next to painting on cave walls.
Well, that makes sense because
when humans got fire, they started burning stuff.
Yeah, because that was my instinct when I was a kid. I was like, fire, and then you get a piece of charcoal, and you're like, oh, this is cool. I'll put this on a rock.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm liking the file better than the X-Acto knife.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Why is that?
It's not gouging the wood.
No.
That's one thing I always didn't.
It seems to me like there's a little bit of carbon that's being scratched off, like it's excess.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something you want to... Would you want to wipe it away, or do you want to blow it away, or brush it away? What's the best?
I don't know that I want to blow it away and put the particles in the air.
Okay, so you brush
kind of
it.
like a pastel.
Okay.
Not knowing what it'll do.
Gotcha.
So I'm just being careful with that. Let's see here.
Sean says, Val, if you take the brush attachment on the Dremel, you can bring the carbon down quickly. That's true.
Oh, that's true.
Is that like which brush though? Because it could damage the wood, right?
We would have to find out.
Well,
I don't know. We would have to test.
I think the easy answer there is that Dremel has literally thousands of attachments.
Yeah.
I'm sure that there's quite a lot of variety that we could use.
That's true.
So are you gonna? So when we go to the fair for the demo, are you gonna be using this technique, torching?
You wanted me to burn the buffalo at the fair.
I do.
No, that I will not be. That board is 1/8 of an inch thick, and I can show. Hopefully I'll have to zoom out. I don't remember how warped this board was to begin with, because it's just scrap. But let's see if we can tell.
Yeah, you can tell it's warped.
Yeah. So, and this is 1/8 of an inch. So I don't. There it is. Yeah. There's the warp.
So that heat really does have a pretty profound effect on the wood.
It goes through 1/8 of an. I mean, right here on my this is foam.
Yeah.
That's normally under my easel to keep it from moving. That is heat from the test board.
Oh.
The bottom of it warps here.
So
the wood does conduct the heat.
So you're thinking like 1/4 inch or thicker?
Yeah, at least 1/4 of an inch. Let's go back here. I'm seeing, I don't know what this is. If it's the wood, I'm seeing flaws. I'm not sure what that is though.
Flaws in the wood?
Well, in the burning, I'm seeing, I don't know if this is actual warping of the board maybe. No, they're gouges. They're gouges from like when I purchased it at the store. There we go. Now do you see them?
Yes. Yeah.
Those. They were.
Well, that's just defects. Now, do you think it's because like they filled them and the torch burned it out?
No, I think this is just you know how when a corner of anything brushes up against wood, it leaves a mark.
Yeah.
So stacking it in the store, would leave a mark.
So see, that's what
if something's banged on it.
See, that's what I think that like half circle mark is. It looked like something was pushed against it. It was circular.
Now, this still is not a burnt background that I would be 100% happy with.
Well, not yet.
Not yet. I'm trying to figure out. I think what I will do, if I have time, is I will finish filling in this background so that when we come back next week, we're either coloring or etching instead of going back to this again. Unless I get a bunch of questions.
What would chat like to see? Would you want to see the etching process, or do you guys want to skip to coloring? I think would be a good question.
Yeah, I do too. Sorry, gotta be on the screen for that. What I will do is whatever isn't in the live, I will film and like post a speed version of it, since I don't think this needs to be a slower video because we're hitting on a lot of it now.
Right.
So I am having to go a little bit harder. I think what I need to do before I do this is get the background exactly where I want it. I just wanted to show. I think that's going to look really cool.
Yeah.
Once everything's the way I want it, and
I think it'll look cool too. Well, Eve thinks that the etching process would be very informative to see. Michael says both.
This was supposed to be a one live project.
Well,
It has not been that at all.
When has that ever been the case?
Oh, yes, we're talking about me. I know.
We would need a postage stamp size thing.
Yeah. Let's see here. Oh, I'm going to back out because I'm going to turn the torch back on. Come on. Maybe.
I don't see it going on.
Because I'm clicking the wrong button.
Paul says both. You agree?
Both.
Yep.
Okay, so you want etching and color?
Yeah.
And I have no idea what the etching is going to be. Do you guys want the Dremel? Because I'm kind of worried about the Dremel because it's going to be loud.
Well,
kind of like the
what if you did like a speed, not a speed video with the Dremel with like voiceover, and that way they wouldn't have to hear the sound unless they'd want it live.
And then,
but everybody's saying both. Like everybody who's commented has said both.
Well, the etch by hand is fine.
Yeah.
If it's with Dremel, then it's going to be extremely noisy.
Yeah.
We just got the audio right, hopefully.
Well, I do think that seeing the etching process would be cool.
Well,
and plus, then it won't be a skip step.
That's true. Let's see here. Oh.
That way.
See, I just went actually over the etching.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I had thought about this. I'm gonna put in. Where would I sign it? Can you grab me? There's a white pencil by the scissors.
A white pencil by the scissors.
I'm trying to see. Normally, I would not sign my full name. I never do a full name on the front.
Yeah.
But where would I put my initials? I would put.
Well, Andrew Smith says, is it just me, or do you get a feeling about certain pieces that are going to be that bit you thrive for? He said, well, I'm having that feeling right now.
For Elliot? Because I'm not sure how this is going to turn out. I am completely out of my element, and everybody's getting to see that.
Paul says, speed vid the Dremel. The sound of them puts me to sleep.
Okay.
But mind you, so do vacuum cleaners and washing machines. I'm just weird.
That's what Jesse used to fall asleep to. Alright. I just put my initials in white chalk so that I can etch it out, because something I just saw was when I hit one of the etching areas, it didn't darken up like the rest of it.
No?
No, so I want to see if my initials will pop or if they will hide.
I think that they're going to pop.
And I do normally put my initials in with pencil before I go over it with anything.
Oh, okay.
That's not anything.
I did not know that.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here. Feels like it's darker burn here. It's not.
Well, it looks like a darker burn.
Well, deeper in it. It's not lightening up like.
Well, I think anywhere where it caught on fire, it's probably a bit darker.
Good point.
A bit deeper.
Deeper. There we go.
Yeah.
I might have to use the knife.
Yeah. Well, this would be a case where a Dremel would be good. So how do you feel about that, like doing a speed video of the Dremel?
If I decide to use it, that's fine.
Okay.
That's fine. I'm gonna put that down.
Andrew Smith says, no, not Elliot. Your piece is giving me goosebumps.
Oh, thank you. I've definitely been out of my element the last few videos.
I'm really glad that
and take the weight off.
That we've gone this direction. Or you've gone this direction. I'm just roasting marshmallows.
This is not the best signature.
That's okay. Michelangelo used to say the same thing. It's not the best signature.
What I'm trying to do is...
See, if somebody came into this video right now, they think that, oh, she's signing it. She's done.
Yeah, no. No, it didn't even work. Well, I'm still not sure how I'm going to do the top background. Because I do want variation.
Oh.
Right now what I'm doing is testing to see what happens when we take the flame over an etched area.
Oh, I think it's going to darken it.
Well, that's what I'm going to find out. And I figured if it's just my initials.
So you're talking about just having your initials be like a, more like a subdued etched in thing that you...
No, we'll find out.
That you barely see, or...
I just want to see what the effect is of burning over an etched area. Granted, I'm going a little deeper because this is...
Paul's agreeing with Andrew. He says, you're right. It's like when a sculptor sees what they're going to carve on the wood or stone before they start. So this is going to be great. No pressure.
No pressure.
Yep.
No pressure. I just thought this was going to be a simple... This isn't as deep or as light as the other etched areas. Okay, wait a minute. Where are we? There it is. There. Okay, you know what I need to do? That. Ooh, I am so sorry. I'm just slapping you around.
As usual.
I am so sorry.
Sean says, thank you so much for sharing your experimentation. I think it's cool that someone so talented isn't afraid to get a little uncomfortable and try something new. You guys rock.
Oh, thank you, Sean. Alright. What I'm saying is it's not covering up.
Not covering up.
Not... I mean, I'm sure if I went like straight down in it.
Straight down in it.
Well, maybe a little bit.
A little bit.
I'm going to go to your art classes and do that for you.
Doing it for me at art class. Sorry, sugar's kicking in.
I would say so. Okay.
Had 4 marshmallows? 5? I lost count.
You lost count. Let's darken. I do need to go darker up in here.
There's
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What?
I was watching the video that we're seeing on YouTube that's delayed. It looked really dark for a second, but it was just a shadow.
Oh,
we're good
okay.
now.
See, I can see where I hit it with where I used the walnut hollow first. I almost wonder if I shouldn't put that texture all the way around and then go back over it with the torch so that looks like I did it on purpose. Because I'm not getting... Let's see here.
Well, that is a concern because you wouldn't want it to look like outlined.
Yeah. So I'm trying to burn it into other areas.
This is why I think, and again, I don't know how many people are, when I talk about a movable mask, I'm actually talking about a thin sheet of steel that has multiple curves, like a French curve, and that you'd be able to put on the surface and give you that hard edge.
But wouldn't the torch heat up?
It would heat up the metal, but what I'd have to do is I'd have to make a handle for it that has a dissimilar metal or else a wooden handle, so that it would end up looking something like a palette knife, honestly, but with more curves, but that would enable you to have like hard edges, but you wouldn't have outlining. Wouldn't have that look.
I definitely think we should try.
Okay. I know it's kind of an abstract concept, but
I understand what you're saying. As long as I can hold it. But the thing is I would have to hold it above, like you do airbrushing, hold it above to get that, it'll be a softer line, because if I have a piece of steel sitting on a piece of wood and it heats up, it is going to burn that shape into the wood, that area that's hot.
Right. You'd have to be very careful with it.
Me careful?
Well, you are careful. I mean, I realize with all the flames bursting out on this piece, it doesn't look like it, but I know that's part of your plan. Actually, the grain of the wood there is actually really interesting.
Yeah, I was thinking instead of putting the flowers in, that what I should have done, had this been planned out, is maybe I would have followed some of the grain. You know what I mean? But the grain here goes up and down. This one goes this way. This one goes up and down. So it's kind of hard to...
Well, I think that something that is going to come out, and Andrew and Paul have been talking about this in chat, is that there's going to be some, when you scrape out, and also when you seal this, you're going to get some reflectivity, some prism. There's going to be, like in that grain there, it's going to be a little bit prismatic. It's going to look really cool.
Well, for sealing, it's going to come out, yeah, a little bit, but I don't use a glossy finish.
Well, still.
I bumped up the flame a little bit so I could hold it away to try to change my angle.
Andrew's asking, you're not getting cracking in the wood or wood joints?
No, because I think the main reason being because it's just the top layer. And I'm moving.
That would be something you'd have to worry about, though, on a thinner piece.
Yes.
If it was joined.
Yes. Now, what I could do, though the tip is hot, or the pin's hot, I'm going to have to use pliers. Probably should turn it off. I've had it heating the whole time. I think I want to try the transfer tool for the walnut hollow for this area and see what happens.
What does that tool do?
It's a shader that you can also use with laser print, and I do not recommend this, but people take a picture that's on laser print, flip it upside down, and they use the heat tool like an iron and transfer the ink.
Now, aren't we getting into that same issue of toxicity?
Yes, that's why I don't suggest doing it.
There's some really good questions in chat today that we've had, good comments.
Alright, so I know this is hot because I made it hot. Let's see here, where's the camera? Oh, there it is. Alright.
So
this is a big no-no. Don't do this.
Don't
do what I'm doing.
You're reminding me of Fire Marshal Bill right now.
Don't do what I'm doing.
So you're taking that one out and you're going to put in that other piece.
Yeah, I have to be careful because as soon as I poke it in here, it's going to get hot. Maybe. Alright, so that's what that looks like.
Alright, don't try that at home, kids.
It's tight.
Well, it looks like you're really restricted, though. The flat side of it makes you pretty much restricted to, what, 90 degrees?
Yep, this is going to have to be in it straight. You're right. I've never used this, so I just know what it does. Don't use it. What?
I was thinking about a line from Tropic Thunder.
What?
He doesn't know what the name of the gun was. He only knows the sound that it makes.
That's a good one. Alright. Let's see how long this is going to take. Because this is a thicker tip. It's going to take longer to heat.
Yeah. Maven says that's the kit that they have.
Yeah. What I'm going to do, I'm going to let it sit and heat.
Okay.
That's all I can do because it's kind of like paint drying.
You just want to go back to the torch.
Well, I might as well keep working. I don't want to waste the time.
So how long do you want to go today? Because we're at
I don't know.
12:11 right now.
I think we can do a few more minutes.
Sure. And I do want to show Eddie.
Oh, yeah. Let's see here. I'm actually not looking at my picture. I don't have lines down. I'm kind of making the shape up as we go. I guess I could look.
Andrew says preheat the walnut hollow with the Dremel flame.
Oh.
This is madness. Madness. There you go.
This is not going to be an easy burn.
Chat's encouraging you to do things.
I know, and I'm doing it.
Is that going to get hot enough to actually burn?
I don't know.
Or is it just a heat?
No, it does. It's just... burn the camera. It just takes a while.
Maven says, I would think after seeing some of your materials, you only use more expensive professional materials. Then again, it's just the tool and not the art that limits.
That's true.
But I think Maven hasn't seen this series. This is
this is for beginners.
Yeah, because Val does have a lot of the tools, but she was thinking about it.
I think I have all the tools.
She was thinking about it, and she said, "Well, not everybody has access to that, so let's do burning with, what's more accessible to everybody, to see, what that tool is capable of, and also so people can follow along with the tools that they have. And then the suggestion is that if you like burning and you're using, a basic tool, then definitely think about
upgrading,
when you can. But then, of course, she got frustrated and then started
burning,
torching stuff, and now we're where we're at right now. So one of the I feel like I may be repeating a story, but in one of my art classes, one of the projects was to paint a painting using something that wasn't a paintbrush. And the idea was kind of, I think, what Maven's getting at, that you can literally use anything to paint with or to create art with. It's just easier if you have more specific tools.
Yeah.
But if you have the patience and the time, you can use, very crude or even things that aren't meant to, for the purpose of creating art. You can repurpose those things to paint with, So in that case, it's up to the artist and their vision and their ingenuity and the skills that they have.
What happens if you don't have a vision?
Then you're watching the wrong video.
Let's see, I can do a little shading in here, maybe. What did you do?
I just bumped into one of your color samples.
Oh. There we go. I just wanted to see if that would give, because the burning color is different, and to see if it would give a different kind of depth in the center. That's why I did that.
Maven says, thanks for the info. I'm still new to this, so I'm learning from this. So, who is it that made the comment? I always forget. Was it Dorothy?
Yes.
Yeah. So, basically, Dorothy made a comment that said that, that when you start burning, you're going to know whether it's for you or not. And, I think Dorothy started with the walnut hollow as well.
Mm-hmm.
And she upgraded because she liked it so much. And I think that's really the key point. Like, if you want to do pyrography and you try it out, definitely try it out using, something basic. If you really love it, then you should upgrade, because it's going to be easier and you're going to be able to, do more of what you want. But having that basic tool to start with is gonna let you know whether or not that it's for you. It's not for everybody. Definitely a lot of patience involved, more than I have. Although the fire is more enticing, but I don't know whether that's because it's quicker or just because that I really like to play with fire.
Let's see here.
Probably the fire thing.
I do not like this. I know there's people who use it. I do not like it.
So what is it doing there? Because I can't really tell.
It's not really doing anything other than, it is creating texture. Let's see. I'm trying to get it at an angle.
It sounds like it's scratching though.
I'd say a little bit.
Yeah. I guess if you needed to heat press the grain down in a certain area, that would do it. Smooth it out with heat. It'd be good if you were trying to iron on, a pouch on clothes.
That would work for.
Yeah.
Maybe I just need to slow it down. I always start off quickly because it's a lighter burn. Maybe. It feels a little concave, but it doesn't look like it.
I think I see some difference there. I think it is burning a little bit.
A little bit. I know my hand's in a way. I'm sorry.
Well, it looks like it's very subtle.
Try
so
that.
It's potentially...
Does that help?
I really didn't... Well...
I clicked the light on.
I think I was looking at the wrong display. You got 3 windows up. I was looking at the one that chat's looking at right now. I think maybe a little bit. Not a lot.
I don't know why the tip... I'm having to turn my hand. It's probably not even noticeable in video, but I'm actually using a little bit more of the bottom edge to the left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Andrew just said something that's pretty profound. It says, Maven, welcome to the hottest hobby. You never stop learning. It's a temptation to better yourself that fuels your hunger to learn. And that's very true. Yep, Paul says this is true too. That must be true if Paul says it, so.
My main goal right here is just trying to see how well, 1, this tip does, and 2, see if I can get my fuzzy background that I want.
Yeah. Andrew says preheat the wood with a Dremel.
It's still warm.
I don't think that'll work in the same way. If you're preheating the wood with a Dremel, you're just burning it. I think Andrew understood that.
Yeah. Mainly my hand, I'm kind of burning. I don't know how to explain this. It's very slight angle, but I'm using more of the edge on the side versus the whole bottom. It's enough so that there's, because doing it this way, I don't feel like I'm making contact with the wood as much as I would like. Maybe if I slow down.
That's a lot of area for that to heat as well.
It is. And I've got it on high.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that.
It's on high.
I am seeing a variation in the color though. So it is burning.
Yeah, it is burning.
But it's very slow.
I would not want to do this whole background with this.
No.
Well, actually, doing parts isn't bad.
Oh, Dorothy Speaking of Dorothy, she says,
Hi,
"Hi, all.
Dorothy.
Sorry I'm late. Life happens sometimes."
It
Yep,
does.
it does.
I think that's a little... Oh, hot, hot, hot. I always forget that what's hot. Just because I burn it doesn't mean it's hot, does it?
Andrew's referencing some of his own comments. He says, "These fumes make your mind work weirdly." That's his excuse. I guess it must be a really, really good stream if they can catch the fumes. Andrew
I guess
is.
so. Finally got the lighting and
Wow,
everything
that's better
right.
than 1080p.
Wow, we did turn it into a bit of a cooking channel.
Kind of, yeah. Maven's asking about ventilation.
I'm bad. It doesn't bother me. I would suggest if you can get a hold of an old PC little fan that was in an old computer, and have that at the edge of your work area, away from you. It'll suck the fumes away.
Mm.
This is really no different than if you had a fireplace or a wood stove going.
See, and for me, my lungs are pretty sensitive. I don't have asthma, but I've got scarring in my lungs from some things that happened in the military. And so I'm pretty sensitive to smoke. And this isn't bothering me at all. It's pleasant smelling. No, we don't have the window open, Andrew.
No, it's too loud.
No, we're just sucking it all up. We just got wood smell and marshmallow smell.
It's
pretty awesome, honestly.
That's not burning smooth. No, my little cough is tickling my throat. This isn't bothering me.
Ah.
Let's see. I think I probably will end up. See right here, I'm flat and. Luckily, sunflowers are not smooth.
No.
No.
I'd say what I don't like about that is that you can definitely see the high parts of the grain because the tendency for it is to burn on the high part. Because
right here, it's a nice burn, and of course I'm on camera. Well, it's a nice burn.
But you see what I'm talking about,
nice.
right?
Yeah. Oh, I feel it.
Yeah.
Right here along the edge, maybe it's where I'm holding it. It could be the wood. It's hard to tell.
Sean Arnold says, "Unfortunately, I have to go. Good to meet everyone, and looking forward to seeing the rest on YouTube."
Thanks for stopping by, Sean. I think maybe that was his lunch break. I think we're going to be wrapping this up.
Okay.
This is just frustrating.
Okay.
That's too frustrating for me.
Is it frustrating enough to burn it with fire? Yes. Yes, it is.
There we go. I feel better. No, I don't. It stopped. Come on. Give me that flame. There we go. There we go. I also need to see what happens when I take the sandpaper. Oh, you want your...
This one's for you.
No, I can't eat and talk
I'll
and
save
burn.
it for you.
Well, we can do this after the show.
But then...
We do get to keep this, you know that, right?
What's that?
We bought the torch. It's not going anywhere.
See, look. Now it's your marshmallow. You're not just catching on fire. Ah, the truth comes out.
You can have it. I'll just do another one.
That one's for you. I've had enough. Trust me. Oh, I've had enough.
Let's see here. Now you can see where... too dark. Back it off. I need to see what it looks like once I take sandpaper to some areas, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's getting too dark for what I want. I definitely think that this is especially if you plan out your project. I did not plan for this to happen.
Nope.
So I'm kind of having to.
But I think that's good. I think that art, if it evolves organically.
Well, I agree, but I think there's things that I would have done different with my pattern if I knew I was using the torch. I do think it saves time. I've never gotten a background somewhat in this quick.
Yeah. Well, I think it's amazing. The chat is ecstatic over it.
Yeah, we are almost out of fuel.
The villagers definitely are calling for things to be set on fire. Burn it. Burn it.
Yeah, we are about to go.
Well, that's good timing.
That was. So, granted, I turned it off.
Glad we roasted the marshmallow.
Yeah, it's
about done, huh?
Yeah, I'll let it cool off, put some more in. Right now I'm using this Benzomatic. Got it at Home Depot. It was $5 for this bottle. It's only 5.5 ounces. I did spend twice as much, but it's also twice the size bottle.
Yeah.
Of the one that's coming. So, let's see here. I still think there's more to be done, but I think it's getting somewhere now.
Dorothy is asking, what would you do different?
I would have planned out my background more, and I would not have hit this area of the burn with the walnut hollow.
You know what though? Now that I'm seeing that, like the lighter part in the back does look like a out of focus flower.
Yeah, but I think it's still too dark.
You think
or
so?
I mean, I'm sorry, too light.
So you want to push it back some?
Yeah. Because see here, I also did a lighter burn here, and you can see where I darkened.
Yeah.
There. I'm hoping it's just a matter of rubbing the carbon maybe into the areas a little bit.
Andrew says, I burnt Elliot's surrounding with a shader. I could have had so much more fun with the with the Dremel torch and the marshmallows. Yes, you could, Andrew. 100%. 2 thumbs up. Yes.
When this is sealed, any parts where there's part shiny and part matte, that'll all even out. Just like if you did an acrylic painting. So I'm not worried about that.
Yeah, I am curious about the way the grain is going to come out. Paul says, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to split now. Take care of all, and I'll see you next week. Thanks, Val and Heather. Looking forward to the continuation. Do you want to show Eddie real quick?
Thanks,
before
Paul.
goes?
Sure. We're finishing up anyway.
Okay.
I'm going to move this out of the way so I don't get carbon on it.
So this is what? This is a pyrography piece with watercolor, right?
Hot. Yes, don't touch that. That is hot.
Yes, it is.
I'm just dropping stuff now. There we go. Here's Eddie.
So
I pulled the masking fluid off. I think you said that, didn't you? Now I need to put in the white. The bottle is behind the...
This?
Behind, yeah.
Which one?
Let's see here. How well. Yep, and I'm using Thin Down Pin White by Dr. P.H. Martin to put in the whiskers over the burning. I'm going to be using a dip pen and a very thin rigger brush. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like this. And this is truly multimedia because you're dealing with you got the pyrography, then you got watercolors, and then you're using the ink on top of that. So I think that's really gonna. I think it's really gonna be awesome.
I hope so.
I like it already. I like it.
I've been practicing because I've done very little dip pen. So I created a journal page with the colors.
Oh, you want it?
Yes, please.
Oh, okay.
With some of the colors.
Is that why you're waving at me?
Yes, please. I can't say two different things at the same time. So
Pieces.
I don't normally journal, but I don't like this sketchbook anyway. It's that. I don't like it. And so I'm going to use dip pen on this. It's some of the same paint that I can't speak right now. I cleaned off my palette and just threw the paint on here so that I can go back over it with the dip pen with the white to practice.
Gotcha.
There we go. That's all I was trying to say. Wrong way of doing it. So, yep, the paint is all Daniel Smith.
Okay.
And I used 2 of the Primatech colors, and that's the greens. And Phthalo blue, ultramarine blue, Hansa yellow light, and quinacridone rose. And phthalo blue. Did I say that? Yeah.
I can tell you that this is exactly what Eddie looks like, except we never see him in flowers.
It is not exactly how he looks.
It is. That's Eddie.
Thank you so much, guys. I am recording all of it. I recorded the rest of the burning and the watercoloring, and I will be recording the dip pen, and then I'm going to speed it all up and post it. So.
Outstanding.
Okay.
You've earned your marshmallow.
I earned my marshmallow. Yay, I get a marshmallow. All right. So if we have any more questions.
Are you going to be able to see chat after? Or is it
Yeah, as long as I don't close the tablet, I can.
Because you definitely should reach out. Because there's a lot of great comments.
I will. So that's where we're at. I'm going to back this off so we can hopefully see more. It doesn't. Maybe right there. How's that?
Looks black.
Looks black. Oh, that's behind love.
Oh.
Okay, we're gonna finish it up. He's had too much sugar. If you have any questions and comments, please make sure you leave those down below. And if you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Don't forget.
Mouse marshmallow.
And if you like the video, please hit like and share this with your friends. Happy burning, guys. Bye.
Bye.